Wow, we have another one just coming on through. Honestly, it's because I'm tapping in so deeply to my gut, my instincts, my intuition. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It's like, how do we trust our intuition? Because there's a lot of chattering, a lot of noise that goes on from everybody else that's telling us how we should be, what we should believe in, what's right, what's wrong, in, out, up, down. You're hearing all kinds of advice from directions that may be with good intentions in mind, but at the end of the day, nobody, not me, not the next person, not a guru, not a shaman, nobody knows what it's like to be you because you are a powerful, individual, unique facet of creation that cannot be recreated. Therefore, it's really important that we learn how to trust ourselves, trust our intuition, trust our higher self. And we're going to learn how to do that here. Hi, welcome to another episode of the You Are Limitless podcast. I'm your host, Madam Chiko, coming to you from the holistic wellness space as a spiritual transformational life coach. And I thank you for joining me here on another episode on Y'all. And of course, as I always say, if you're just now tuning in, I'm so glad to have you with me on my journey and having me a part of your journey. And you are loved unconditionally here. This is my way of bringing psychology, metaphysical concepts, universal law, as well as my own story of extreme limitations due to abuse, drug abuse, and being a justice impacted individual into the light so that we can learn to let go of what doesn't serve us and start to incorporate more of what's part of our truth. So I am always excited about getting into our vortex, raising our vibration, and discovering more of who we truly are by letting go of those limiting, yucky, unnecessary, unconscious beliefs that get in the way of that said truth. And wow, what a concept that just came through to me, because really we always second guess ourselves. Like there's always second guessing going on. Well, not maybe not for everybody. Some people just, they think it, they know exactly what it is that they're going for, and then they do it because there's not a lot of chattering involved. They have reduced the level of chattering and second guessing that it takes from thinking to action, right? So we're going to tap into why it is that we second guess ourselves. And this is going to spawn the conversation of the conditionings and beliefs and how we can start to tune some of that out in order to, one, not disregard out the outside external things that people are telling us, but really take it into consideration, but then rely on our own intuition because we are tapping into our innate self being in order to bring forth whatever it is that we are wanting to do. So this is an exciting episode. Again, it's one of those impromptu episodes. I'm actually chilling at home this time. I'm not outside. And I'm actually in the middle of packing. By the time this comes out, though, I'll already have moved to the place where I'm going to law school, and I'm really excited. I'll probably be in orientation as this is being released, and I'm here for it, guys, because this is a journey that I have just been really, and I can actually use this as an example for the intuition because I have received so much of outer noise, chatter, opinions from other people about my journey when in the end, it's not about anybody but me. So if you guys hear my dog, his name is Curious George. If you guys hear him in the background, he's just doing his dog thing. You might hear him playing with the squeaky toy. And guess what? I'm not editing that out because editing stuff out takes way too long. And I realize that I'm able to put up more content when I get out of my head and onto the mic, and I'm not worried about how it sounds or how it's going to turn out. And I'm just speaking from the heart, which I always do, but speaking without a script is where it's at, guys. So nobody knows what it's like to be you. And that's the first thing that we always want to keep in mind whenever we're taking advice from other people. There is nothing wrong with receiving advice and guidance from other people. I am so grateful for everybody that has participated on my journey in helping me evolve to this place where I'm at. But at the end of it, it's up to me to decide whether I am going to choose to listen to whoever or listen to my higher self. Now then, here's the thing about it is you always want to listen to your inner compass. You always want to listen to your own GPS. And it's really wonderful whenever you do have people that can, so to speak, sit in the car with you in the passenger seat saying, hey, actually, no, this way might be a little bit more efficient, a little bit easier on yourself to go in this route. But there's sometimes whenever some people's advice, whether it is coming from a place of loving intent, it's just not what you need. And that's because no one really knows what it's like to be you. This is why I don't go to certain people for certain advice, because at the end of the day, I know that I need to be able to trust my own intuition. So, for example, if I had listened to so many different people's advice in terms of law school, that was a huge one for me, because even in a spiritual space, there was one time where one of my teachers, I was struggling so deeply, like, is this something that I really want to do? And I had all of these voices telling me that I couldn't do it because of my past of being a drug addict, of going to jail a few times. And literally, I had all these confirmation bias show up in my life that confirmed maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And it was hard to get out of that and feeling really disempowered, because when you're not trusting your intuition, when you're not trusting your own, what you say goes, then there's a sense of feeling disempowered. And then you are more susceptible to the crowd. You are more susceptible to what other people are doing rather than standing firm in your beliefs and your truths. And, we have been, sorry, I say this a lot with the conditionings, and I will never stop talking about it, because we have truly been conditioned to be disempowered. We have truly been conditioned, whether it's by our parents, whether it's by our society, school, even with commercials. If you watch commercials, and please tune them out as much as you can, but they will tell you, you need, even big pharma, right? Medication commercials, anything. You need this Swiffer Swiper, or you need this product, and then you will feel good. You need this next vacation, and then you'll feel good. So you have all these things that are disempowering you, that are taking you away from your internal state of being, that internal place of power, that infinite source of consciousness that we are. So take it easy on yourself. Don't judge yourself for it, because I've been there where I'm listening to everybody else but myself. And especially whenever it's from reputable sources, or what we assume to be reputable sources, like good sources that we look up to, it can be really, really hard. It causes a lot of cognitive dissonance whenever now it's like, hold up, I actually don't agree with you, but something's telling me that I need to agree with you. And so this is where, when we sit quietly within ourselves and we understand that everyone is living their own life, living in their own reality, and they are pushing their own perspective onto you. And it's up to you to make sense of whatever it is that resonates. Okay, that doesn't mean that you need to follow everything that anyone says. This includes me. Okay, this is why I always say, like, if this resonates, great. If it doesn't, you're going to find that information somewhere else. And I hope that it resonates and it helps you evolve and elevate yourself, because that's my goal at the end of the day. It's not to be put up on a pedestal, but it's for you to see that you are the pedestal. You are the conscious being. You are the creator of your reality. So create creatively that reality that you say you want. Straight up, that's the only agenda. And however that looks is however that looks. So, yeah. When we realize that we do have the power, the authority, it's not even about having a power, but we are the authority. We're the authority of our own reality and our choices and whatnot. Like, no one else can really tell you how to navigate that authority except for you. There can be people who can guide you for sure, but at the end of the day, you have to agree to be guided, essentially. There's nobody that is in your shoe. Whenever I had one of my teachers tell me, well, maybe law school isn't for you, intuitively, I knew deep down at a soul level, no. This is something I worked hard for. And for me to walk off this path now is for me to tell myself that I'm going to give into the fear. I'm going to let the false evidence appearing real, the acronym for fear, I'm going to let that dictate me not doing what it is that I need to do. And then I've had all kinds of people telling me that I couldn't do it. But I tuned into the people who told me that I could do it. Those are the ones that I was listening to. But at the very end, it was up to me to believe that. And that's really what it's about. It's like, what we say goes. What does that mean when I say that? Because I do say that a lot. But I literally mean that what you are choosing to believe in, whatever healing modality that you are choosing to believe in, is your permission slip in order for you to heal and evolve and to take the action that you need to take. So, for example, some people love to use crystals in order to, tap into their inner wisdom or to heal parts of their body. And I'm a fan. I love them. However, I know that there are other people who do not resonate with crystal healing. And therefore, if you were to go to them and ask them, hey, so do you know anything about crystal healing? They might have a negative perspective about it based on their own experience, right? So it would do you no good to, let's say that you resonated with that healing modality. And there's so many different type of healing modalities. I'm speaking more of like in terms of holistic healing. I prefer healing modalities that are more holistic. That's just my opinion. But yeah, like you have to understand that that person's only seen through the lens of what their experience is, or even lack of experience. So that's why it's really important to understand that it's all you at the end of the day. Now, there's also this aspect of like, oh no, I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to disappoint XYZ or disrespect somebody who's telling me one thing, but I feel differently. Well, I think it's really important to, one, hold the utmost space for ourselves. It is really important to hold ourselves accountable for our own life. And we're going to talk about responsibility in another episode because I think that's really, really important in that we really have to stop looking at everybody else as the cause of our distress. They might be, but we also have to allow them to be. So we'll talk all about responsibility, okay? Because if we break that word up, response able. That means the ability to respond. I love breaking words up, by the way. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I'll definitely share more like on different types of, anyways, totally getting off track. But the thing is, we have to hold ourselves completely responsible for our own being. And that may require us to do things differently from what we are expected of to do, what people are used to us doing. When we take full agency, which is what it's called, agency in our own being. Some people may not like that. Some people may not be used to dealing with that level of energy. It might frighten them, but it's coming from love. If you stay in a place of love and grace, why not express yourself to the fullest? Why not stand firm on your own inner guidance? There's also the aspect of like, what if I'm wrong? What? So we're going to talk about that because there's no such thing in my mind as being wrong. Okay. Life is this ever evolving journey that there is no end destination, and goals are just permission slips to be able to get you to move in a direction. Doesn't mean that things have to pan out in that way. This is the part about not getting attached to results or not getting attached to the past. And I do have an episode from, I don't know how long ago at this point, called on attachments and like how the attachments can really kill us. Like it can stop and hinder our growth. So this idea of thinking that you're wrong, and I put this in like air quotes, is almost like we can even talk about like the law of attraction in that what you believe, not what you think per se, but what you believe is what you will see manifest in some way, form, or fashion. Like that's just how it is. So you believe that you're wrong and that the shoe would drop. Guess what? You're going to experience that. And then you're going to say, hey, like, I told you. See, that's the confirmation bias. I told you. I knew that would happen. This is what happens whenever blah, blah, blah. As opposed to like having that confidence that you are right. Because whatever you say truly goes. That's just how reality works. And I really want to hone these ideas in, even if it sounds repetitive, because listening to a podcast is not enough. Like we really have to walk this talk and practice this. And this is something I've learned about trusting my intuition. Most of my coaching, okay, this is another example where, yes, I'm dual certified, actually triple certified, abundance manifestation coach, spiritual coach, all kinds of coach, transformation coach. But at the end of the day, I'm relying on my intuition to guide my clients to victory. I'm relying on my intuition whenever I'm posting things online. I'm relying on my intuition whenever I'm giving out advice to people who just come to me like in person, online. I'm relying on that intuition. I'm not going into the books and saying, oh, well, is this right or is this wrong? Which there's nothing wrong with that if you need that guidance. But at the end of it, I'm trusting what's coming through to be the purest that I can possibly get it to, as pure as I can get it to be, that it'll be what someone needs in that moment, or it'll be what I need in that moment. And there's something really powerful about being able to trust your inner compass because it's there. When you detach from the noise, and ways that you can do this is stop scrolling. One, stop scrolling. When there's a commercial that comes on TV, mute it. Okay, if you're gonna watch TV and there's commercials, mute the commercials. You don't want all that chatter because you're coming right back into yourself. There's nothing scary about being and sitting with yourself. And I know that that can feel very foreign if you're so used to paying attention to everything that's going on out there, especially if you're an extrovert. Okay. A lot of introverts, they can kind of have that issue for sure. But if you're an extrovert, you're so used to catering to the world around you that going inward can feel lonely and scary. And it's so valid. And I see you, I get it. I'm a little bit of both. And I think everybody is to some degree. But I'm a little bit of both. So I understand what it's like to cater to everybody else at the expense of our own. So when we practice and continue to practice getting in touch with our truth, getting in touch with our true nature, and making decisions from that point without the chatter. So that's the other thing is like the overthinking. The overthinking can block our ability to make decisions. The overthinking is essentially a symptom of negative beliefs, of fear, of, again, false evidence appearing real. That's where that comes from. So when you have all these false evidence appearing real coming up, it comes up in the form of overthinking. And then that could, in fact, delay action or delay decision making. And when you're in a state of indecision, that's not a state where you are fully accepting what is, one. Two, where you are feeling empowered to move in some direction or even to sit still. Like, sitting still in a decision is so different. You can decide that, hey, I'm not going to make a decision today. And that is trusting your intuition. That is power. But indecision does not bring you that. So we really want to, and then sometimes we'll go to everybody else. Okay. We'll go to everybody else. We'll ask our friends. We'll ask everybody for the advice, but then you still feel empty because it's not what you need in that moment. And, I had a friend come to me about some advice about something. It was like a relationship thing, and love her to death. Love everybody involved in this situation. However, she wanted me to give her a definite answer. Should I do this? What should I do about this person? And I told her, I can't tell you that. It's not my place to tell you what you should do. I can give you different scenarios just based on my own perspective and my own experience. But at the end of the day, it is up to you to decide what it is that you need in this moment and what it is that you need from them in that moment, and see if they can deliver on that. And if not, see if you can deliver on that for yourself. But never take the self-love out of this equation, because honestly, I feel like there's judgment going on and you're disconnecting from your own self-love. So I will never sit there and be like, oh, well, you should do this, or you should break up with that. Or I just can't. It's just not my place. Because what did I say in the beginning? Nobody is you. I am not another person. I can only intuitively see things so far before, at the end of the day, I am only me and I am unique. And you are only you and you are unique. So what's the takeaway? Stop asking everybody. Stop asking everybody for advice. Ask yourself. Yes, it's great to have wonderful people who really do have really great intentions and probably love giving advice. I love giving advice. Love it. Love whenever people feel that they can come to me. However, at the end of the day, it is up to you to be the captain of your ship and use your higher self, your intuition, your own being, your own consciousness as the GPS. You got this. Really trust in yourself. And then ask yourself, and you can journal these questions down because all of this is here to help you. What is it about trusting myself I don't feel I can? And as you journal this, notice what comes up. You may realize that this is from a past conditioning, past belief. Maybe, your parents didn't trust you with enough responsibility, or maybe even you were in a relationship for a very long time where you felt like you couldn't speak up, where you felt like your opinions didn't matter, that your wants and your likes didn't matter. So you learn to dull down your intuition for the room. right? You became good at reading a room, but you kind of got stuck when it came to reading your own self. So that's the takeaway. Okay. Practice this and tell me what you guys think about this episode. Because most of the time I trust my intuition 100%. But I notice there's cognitive dissonance whenever I feel like it's, especially when it's coming from an authority figure or I perceive to be an authority. And I'm like, yeah, you're my teacher and I appreciate you and yada, yada. And yet there's something off about what you're telling me and I don't like that. So just wanted to hop on that because that was my latest experience. And, I know this will help people for sure. Trust yourself. Trust the unfolding of your life. And if you don't like it, guess what? You have the conscious ability to change it, to maneuver it. You're never stuck anywhere unless you say you are. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to share this perspective on trusting your intuition, why it can be difficult to trust your intuition, and how to come back into your own truth so that you can make your own decisions. Stop asking other people. Quit asking other people. Hey, you, stop asking people for advice. Like literally, especially when it comes to relationships and whatnot. Like at the end of the day, it is up to you guys. Not to say don't disregard people as well, but just understand that it is you. Thank you guys so much. And also, and I'll never stop talking about this, but I got a women's group coming up and I'm so excited for this group. It's going to be so amazing, so powerful. We're literally transforming our brains, our life, our being in such a short amount of few weeks. And if you are interested in joining my group, just know that you can definitely sign up. Go to my website, so sign up to my newsletter, reach out to me, DM me at Instagram at Madam Chiko, and just reach out because I am so eager to get to know you and to have you a part of like my journey and having me a part of your journey. And also the same thing with one-on-one coaching. I do have a few slots available, not as much as I thought I would. So I do want to keep that in mind that I am very limited in terms of one-on-one coaching. But with the group coaching coming up, I think that that's going to be more accessible. But nevertheless, if that's what you're seeking and you're really wanting to hone in a lot of these principles and let go of those limiting beliefs and come back into your truth, again, reach out. All my contact information is in the show notes. And as always, thank you, Limitless One, for allowing me to share, for raising our vibration, getting into alignment with our truth by trusting ourselves and trusting our intuition. So as always, and by the way, I'm so proud of George for not making a sound. That's my dog. Oh, he's so sweet. Now he heard his name. He's like, okay, let's play. So I'm going to go play with George. We're going to go hang out, probably eat some food and go for a walk. But in the meantime, you guys, don't forget that you are part of divine oneness of creation. You are important just by being. You are a beautiful, beautiful soul. I see you. I love you. I validate you. And I'll see you next time on You Are Limitless.